Thank you, Jerry. It's not a sermon today, so he didn't exactly know how to introduce me. But good morning, everybody. Finally, we had sunshine, huh? And we got it with a vengeance. But luckily for us, even though the thermostat is rising outside, it's going to be in the 90s. Our Boston church is still holding some of the winter cold air. So it's not too bad in here, right? It's not too bad. So I'm grateful for that. But next week, I don't know. But for right now, we're good. It's been some time since we had a Sunday service where we were able to just share with each other. And I thought, I had it planned a few times, but then something else would come up, a different opportunity or a different situation, and so I kept prolonging it. But I thought that this would be a good time today. So I'm just looking practically, how many are at this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's too many at your table there, guys. So why don't you should have eight at a table? You can come over and join here with Sophie Oni. So whoever came later, come over here. Everybody has about 8 at their table? Dar, you have 6. So Dar, you can come and sit. You can sit here at this table. We're maybe missing one there. Okay. So the last time we did this, we shared a hunduk. We read Father's. Okay. Do I have everybody's attention? Do you want to sit down, or what do you do? Okay, we're good. I know it's very tempting. The last time we did this, we read a good portion of Father's words and had some sharing about the hunduk. And I was preparing to do that this time when, through one of our Project Phoenix meetings, there was a sister that offered some guidelines for a certain type of listening and sharing in a group setting that I thought, well, maybe this would be good to experiment and try this out with our own community. So today the focus is a little bit more on learning a new way of communicating with one another in this kind of setting, so that in the future we can become more experienced at it. And I've experienced it's a very good one from this style. And it's been training for me. You could pull Reverend Edgerly aside and ask him, how difficult is Catherine Ono in a meeting? And he'll tell you from bitter experience. Can I get an amen from you? Yes. Peggy also laughed, you know? So I wanted to share that because it's not like I'm super proficient at this. I've experienced the benefit of it, and it's helping me to change, and I'm 60 years old, and it says, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but actually it's possible. So Dar and Jerry, can you find a seat? Okay. One here. Yeah. Mr. If we have too many, maybe.
We're okay, so all this is coming here.
Okay.
If there's any new additions, we will.
Okay. So what we're going to do is that each table, who has an iPhone at their table? So you just need one person at your table that will be the timekeeper, okay? One person be the timekeeper. So why don't you face each other and figure out who's going to be the timekeeper? Oh my goodness. Okay, everybody has a timekeeper? Timekeepers, raise your hand. Are you on the stopwatch already? Okay, good. Then the last time we did this, my husband shared with me, he complained, there wasn't enough time. And I said, well, if you think about the amount of time that we have for Sunday service, if total within this framework, 7 or 8 people total share for 5 minutes, that's 40 minutes. That's a sermon, we're done. So we're trying to do something within the framework of our Sunday service. So it's uncomfortable at first, but it's good practice, and over time we become more proficient at being able to share what we have to say. If somebody says, do it in a minute, do it in 2 minutes, you start to learn. So It's going to be a little difficult, maybe uncomfortable, not usual, but it's okay. And if you really have more to say, then take some of your members and go have the people at your table and have lunch with them. So then you can further your conversation. So to get started, we're just going to start right away because it's kind of self-explanatory. If you're at the English table, put up this that says how to share, listen, and respond in groups in ways that foster connection. In Japanese, I don't know, it's on you, I can't read it, but now everybody face the table, face your so Mrs. Ono, turn around, everybody, you don't need to look at me anymore. You can just, and then each at your table, starting with the timekeeper, read out loud through these directions. And don't read too fast because you're trying to take in what they're saying. So that should take about 2.5 minutes. So go ahead and start that. Yeah. Everybody's finished reading? Hello? Everybody's finished reading? Okay, so now go to the next page, how to share. No, I'm sorry, the next page, the content, yeah. Okay, sorry. One thing I just want to mention that, a lot of times if we're at a table, somebody next to you is speaking, and you're sitting like this, looking at the middle of the table, right? We've all had that experience, right? You're thinking or you're listening, but your body is facing here when the person next to you is speaking. So we want to change that, make effort, turn your body, turn your head, look at each other. If somebody should happen to come in late and kind of come in somewhere, then make sure that you can all see each other. So even right now, can everybody see each other at the tables? Okay. So now what we're going to do is it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to have an opening sharing. Share something new or good that you did or happened in your life this past week. I'm going to give an example. It's not a big, earth-shattering spiritual revelation. I always have on my back porch every summer, I have my herb garden and some flowers. Well, and I usually get it done and I put it together in late April. This year I didn't do it. Finally, this week I went to the nursery. I bought my basil and my rosemary and all my parsley and my herbs. I cleaned up the porch. I put out my herb garden and some flowers and set the table up. And so now I can go on my back porch, have a cup of tea or coffee, read and it's a very inviting place. And I'm so happy I did it. Okay? That's my sharing from something good. So it doesn't have to be something spiritual, just something that made you happy this week. So we're going to start with the youngest person at your table, and then and then go around to the right. So each person, you just take the timekeeper, give everybody 20 seconds to think, and then the timekeeper can say, let's begin. So let's start that. Okay. Everybody's done? Okay, can I have everyone, if we're all done, can I have everyone's attention? Can I have everyone's attention? Sumimasen. So did you enjoy your conversations and your sharing and listening at your table? If we had more time, I'd like to have like a little, maybe some report, but we haven't tightened it up enough yet to be able to figure out how to do that. So anyway, thank you everyone. We had a wonderful sharing at our table. We had tears and laughter, and it was just really great. So on that foundation, I'd like to read of our hearts being open. I'd like to now read our Hundoke. This speech was given in July of 1992 in Korea, and Father is speaking in the context of North and South Korean unification, which is, if you think about people who are maybe the farthest apart, most kind of the enemy, to come together is very difficult. But Father gives some, so even though that's what he's addressing, I think in any kind of relationship, in any kind of effort to make unity, that there's good guidance here. The unification required by God is not for the sake of unification in and of itself. It is brought about so that on the foundation of unification, eternal freedom, peace, and happiness can blossom. It cannot be unification by force or where one side is left miserable. It must be a unity in true love, in which each side lives for the other and gives again. Therefore, the reunification of the homeland cannot be exploited for the benefit of any individual, political party, or government. Only when our hearts and actions, colored with love, reach the hearts of our fellow countrymen and women in the North will true unification come about. So I'd like to just end our sort of sermon portion with prayer. Our beloved Heavenly Parent, we thank you for today's Sunday service. Although we didn't have the normal format of having a sermon, we shared with each other, brothers and sisters, heart to heart, about simple things in our lives and deep things in our lives. And I hope that from this experience this morning, that we all walk away from our service feeling a little closer to one another, a little more grateful for each other, and perhaps even a little bit freer to open our hearts and share with one another. This is really what the kingdom of heaven is about. Heavenly Parent is having that love and appreciation on the most fundamental for ourselves and for each other, and then just that being manifested in all kind of acts and ways of life. So we thank you for this time, and I offer this report in the name of Hiromi and Catherine Ono, a blessed central family. Adieu. Just one thing I wanted to mention, that just to think about, because as you know, our True Mother is coming, and we have the big push to bring people and go to New York, and after our announcements, I'll just share a little teeny bit more, but what we just did right now was, you can also look at it as it was practice for witnessing. It was witnessing practice. If you practiced what we did, ask somebody, tell me something good that happened to you last week, and you listen with your whole heart, that person will want to know a little bit about you, or you can go back and forth, ask. So witnessing is not just, do you believe in God? What do you think about the spirit world? You know, that kind of thing. It's meeting people heart to heart. So I felt as I was preparing for this that, maybe if we think about outreach and mobilization and all that stuff that we usually have to think about in these kind of situations from a different angle, we might feel, more able to share with someone, invite someone, have a friend come with us to New York. So having said that, we'll now have our announcements and our collection.